Today, we're shrinking down, like way, way down. We're going to be exploring something called Nanoelectromechanical Systems, or NEMS for short. This is pretty much the next frontier in building machines so tiny they operate on the scale of actual molecules. So yeah, let's dive in.
Just think about the smartphone in your pocket. It's already packed with all these microscopic machines, but that's just the beginning. The real question, the one that's driving this entire field forward is, what happens when we go even smaller? What if we could literally build them, piece by piece, atom by atom?
All right, so to really wrap our heads around just how ridiculously small nano is, we first need to get a handle on micro, a scale of technology that, believe it or not, is already all around us.
Ever wonder how your phone's screen flips when you turn it? Or what tells the airbag in your car to go off? Well, that's all thanks to MEMS, or Microelectromechanical Systems. They are the absolute unsung heroes of our modern world, combining these tiny little mechanical parts with electronics on a microscopic level.
Okay, the leap in scale here is just staggering. Seriously, NEMS are to MEMS what a single person is to a massive skyscraper. We're talking 1,000 times smaller. And this isn't just about making things tiny for the sake of it. This is about entering a whole new world of physics. One where things like lower mass, unbelievably high frequencies, and even weird quantum effects start to run the show. So, we've established that they are incredibly small. But what exactly are these nanomachines? And how on earth do you build something that you literally cannot even see?
At their core, NEMS are basically devices that merge electrical functions with mechanical ones. Things like motors, sensors, little pumps, you name it, all on the nanometer scale. It's this combination that lets them feel and interact with the world with a sensitivity that's just off the charts.
So when it comes to building these things, there are two totally different ways to go about it. The top-down approach, well, that's kind of like being a sculptor. You start with a big block of material and you just carve and etch away everything you don't need. The bottom-up approach, on the other hand, is more like being a gardener. You plant these molecular seeds, and you use their natural chemical tendencies to get them to grow or self-assemble into the exact structure you want. Pretty cool, right?
Now, you can't just build stable working machines at this scale out of anything. You need some truly extraordinary materials. And it turns out, one of the most common elements on the planet is also the biggest superstar in this nano world. Good old carbon.
Just look at what carbon, especially in its fancier forms, like graphene and carbon nanotubes, brings to the table. It is incredibly stiff and ridiculously strong, but it's also super lightweight. You can make bearings that are almost frictionless, perfect for tiny motors. And here's the kicker. It can act like a metal conductor or a semiconductor, which means you can use it to build both the wires and the switches in a single nano device. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. Working with these materials is unbelievably tricky. Their huge surface area makes them super sensitive to, well, everything. Just the way you roll up a carbon nanotube can decide if it acts like a wire or a transistor. And graphene, it doesn't have a natural off switch, or what scientists call a band gap. That means we have to completely rethink how we design electronic circuits just to use it. Okay, so even with all those headaches, the reason people are pouring so much effort into this is because the potential payoff is enormous. Let's just run through some of the game-changing applications that NEMS could unlock.
Because they're so small and light, NEMS are hypersensitive. How sensitive are we talking? Imagine being able to detect not just a specific chemical, but a single molecule of that chemical. That's the level of precision we're talking about here. It's insane.
And in the world of computing, NEMS could start a revolution. They can be these little physical switches that are way faster and use way less power than today's transistors. This could lead to things like instant-on computers and phones with battery life that lasts for weeks, all because their memory wouldn't need constant power just to remember things.
And this is where things get really wild, almost like sci-fi. Scientists are already exploring bio-NEMS, which combine these synthetic nanomachines with biological parts like DNA. Just imagine, tiny little robots that could swim through your bloodstream to deliver medicine directly to a cancer cell. That's the kind of world that bio-NEMS could actually make possible.
Now, before we get too carried away with all the cool possibilities, we have to come back down to Earth for a minute and talk about the massive hurdles standing between today's research and tomorrow's reality.
Just look at this. It's kind of mind-blowing. The single biggest cost in making one of these devices isn't the tiny, complex machine itself. Nope. It's the packaging, the box you have to put it in to protect it from the outside world. Because they're so delicate, just keeping them safe and working can account for up to 95% of the total cost.
That's just nuts. And the challenges don't stop there, not by a long shot. Manufacturing is really hard. You get low success rates. And at this tiny scale, forces that we totally ignore in our big world, like the simple stickiness between two surfaces, can cause a nanomotor to just seize up and stop working completely. We still have so much to figure out before NEMs are everywhere.
So with all these challenges, you might be wondering, where does the field even go from here? Well, let's zoom back out and look at the big picture.
What we're seeing now is the whole field starting to grow up. For years, the main goal was just proving that these devices could be built at all. Now, the focus is shifting. It's moving towards engineering reliable, practical devices that actually solve real-world problems. The science is moving from the lab bench to the production line.
And you know, it all comes back to this. More than 60 years ago, the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman gave this visionary talk where he imagined a world where we could manipulate individual atoms. He ended it with this beautiful idea that there's a vast, unexplored landscape at the very smallest scales of our universe. NEMS technology, that's our first real, meaningful step into that landscape. The question isn't if we can build there anymore. The question now is, what wonders will we choose to create?